VTUK. Good evening, welcome to VTUK UK. What an absolute cock-up that was. 2 seconds. Anyway, finally, please give us a thumbs up if you can hear us, because we've got no idea what's going on. Obviously, we mentioned the other night about Vape Collective. And this is our option to bring somebody in from the collective team. So joining us this evening we have Andy. That's a little bit unfair. We've also got Chandler as well, so there's 3 of us.
Good evening, Mark. Good evening, Chandler. Good evening to the rest of the VTUK.
Hey, I'm liking this. I'm liking this new fancy stuff.
It's all pretty good, isn't it?
It's
posh, isn't it?
Yeah. Look at this. I'm a bit freaked out, to be fair.
Why are you freaked out?
It's new software. It's different. I'm old. I just get I get very anxious when there's change involved. You know, bring back the Google Hangouts. I know what all those buttons do. This is just.
Go on, carry on.
That was it. That was it. I am just, it's all a bit freaky and different. And I panic when things are new. You know, like when you get a new phone, it's like, I don't know how to use it.
I'm pretty sure over time you'll get used to it.
Yeah, I'm sure I will. Probably, yeah, give me about 5 minutes.
Anyway, good evening. We obviously spoke, Colette, blimey, that's a blast from the past. Obviously, we mentioned Collective the other evening, and we've had lots of conversations with different people. And yeah, we wanted to give the guys from Collective an opportunity to come on and have a chat. You know, find out what went well for them, what didn't go quite so well for them, and whether or not they'll be back in 2019. Andy, how do you feel it went? There were errors. I'm not going to deny that. We were, a lot of the time, feeling our way in the dark. Obviously, I'm not in the trade, so I don't have all the immediate contacts to hand. I've never organised an event before, so it was working from a back foot and trying to do as good a job as we could.
Now, obviously, I didn't go this year. I went to the first one, didn't go. Obviously, no one went to last year's. You obviously mentioned that, you know, you felt as though some things went right, some things went wrong. Primarily, what things do you think went really, really well? What are you guys happy with that went really well?
Well, obviously, the raffle, or not the raffle, but the money raised for charity. We haven't had a total figure as yet, but going to Tommy's will be somewhere in the region of £2,000.
Oh,
so
awesome.
money has been raised for charity, and in that respect, I would class it as a success.
Absolutely.
Yeah. The vendors that were there, I've spoke to quite a few of them, and they did seem to enjoy it. They did. Most of them did a good trade with it as well. We were a bit unlucky that in the last week leading up to it, we had 5 vendors drop out through various reasons, which obviously 5 vendors when you've got 45 is quite a big percentage. So we had to do a bit of juggling, a bit of rearranging here and there to try and make it so that there wasn't gaps, huge gaps all the time left between the pitches, and it looked as though it seamlessly ran from one vendor to the next.
It looked pretty good to me. The event itself looked great.
Yeah. The site is a very big site, the grass field. Obviously, you're aware of the size of it.
Yeah.
There is room for expansion there. The clubhouse, I think the premises now are starting to look a little bit jaded, and perhaps they need a bit of maintenance work on there and just tidying some of the outer areas of the grass. The field itself is absolutely spotless.
Well, it was a nice, it was a nice field.
A little bit, perhaps a little bit jaded in places.
It was fine. I've got nothing against the site. It looked great.
The beer strip as well.
Yeah. Do you know I didn't actually partake in the beer? That was a bit of a fatal flaw in driving. So I didn't actually go in the clubhouse or try any of the beer. But yeah.
But personally, I had a chance to see vendors that I've not tried before. I've got some juices which I've not tried before, 2 of which I'm vaping tonight. And if I don't leave them alone, the bottles are going to be battered before I even know about it. I got a bit of new, 3 new mods, so I'm quite happy, really. And hopefully the vendors felt the same. Obviously, when it's a promotional one like this, if you can try and even just break even as a vendor, because it's trying to get your name out and things, it's always a good sign. If they've made a profit, it's obviously a bonus. No one wants to work at a loss.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Everyone's got businesses to run, and companies need to make money to... Are you going to...
Chris is asking for a link as well, Mark.
It's not that simple.
Was it not?
Honestly, it really wasn't that simple. In response to some of the criticisms that you got, what response do you have to some of those criticisms, Andy?
The raffle, yes, I don't know why the same numbers kept coming out. Perhaps we needed a bigger box for the tickets that were there. Because even before the tickets went to where they were being drawn, I'd been putting my hands in, mixing it right up, not looking at any of the tickets, but giving it a good mix. Every time Mark was into the box, he was shuffling it around. 2 or 3 times at least, he was up shaking the box and moving it around. There are things to be learnt from that. That's obviously one thing that needs addressing.
Just need one of those, one of those tumbly things where you turn it and it just keeps tumbling them as they go.
There's obviously ways that we can improve on that. Access to the site and signage, it's very difficult. Doncaster Council can be a bit funny, I've been told, if you start putting signs up. So, yeah, I know that sounds daft, doesn't it?
It does sound about right for Doncaster Council, to be fair.
I don't know, because obviously you're aware I have a long journey to get to Doncaster.
How far away are you from...
Oh, well,
Doncaster?
Coming home on the Sunday, it took me 9 minutes shy of 6 hours.
Good God, where are you?
I'm in North Devon.
What the bloody hell you...
Yeah, precisely.
What? So, huh?
It was 289 miles, I think it was.
Yeah, that sounds about right. From Doncaster. I mean, yeah. Okay.
It's obviously the vaping community and VTUK in particular have helped me out twice in the past. Once for Jason, and obviously once when I went into hospital, October 2016. Now, would you believe it was? It was that long ago. And I suppose it's my way of putting something back into the community.
Gentlemen, I'm just going to try and get Chris in. Just excuse me a second. I'm just going to put you two on present.
That's fine. Yeah, because Chris is giving me all sorts of hell going, I'm sorry, Michelle,
where can I get in? So I suppose it's my way of putting things back into the community. They've helped me a lot, and it's that case of pass it forward.
Yes. Yeah, I know what you mean.
And it's the only community I've ever known where complete strangers will talk to each other, will help each other out. If there's a problem, they'll help. If they need to raise money for something, they help. And it's the only community I've ever known that's like that. So I suppose that was the main reason that I got involved.
Okay, because you're not you haven't got a shop. You're not involved in any.
That's obviously one of the places where I did struggle. Is obviously I'm not in the trade and I've got no experience in the past of event organising.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when we first started, we did have a larger committee, but unfortunately, over the time, it dropped out. The last couple of us.
Right, so there's only a few of you left.
There was 2 or 3 of us left by the end of it. Now, when you've started with 5 or 6, and we've had a couple come in, and then they've gone again, it made it very difficult. And obviously, with the nature of my son and his medical needs, I was doing as much as I could through the day and in the evenings. But obviously, the majority of my time, I have to commit to him because of his needs. I'm a single parent.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hello, Chris.
Hey!
Can you hear me all right?
I said I'd talk slow.
Yeah.
We can. Chris, can you drop your camera down a bit?
How's my sound quality?
Appalling.
Is it?
Is mine any better?
How about now?
No, turn it off, turn it off.
It's worse. Turn it off.
How about now?
Hang on, I'll turn you up. Speak.
How about now?
It'll do, I suppose, it'll do.
I've got a snowball, it should be brilliant. It's a software for it.
It should just be a plug and play. Plug it in and it goes.
Yeah, I don't know why it sounds shit then.
How far away is it from you?
There.
Right, go on. That's better.
How about now?
Much better.
Is that how far it's supposed to be?
Well, mine's there.
Well, there we go.
Right,
I'm saying you sound fine.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
You look gorgeous.
Why can I only see you in like, I don't know, 260p?
Mine is incredibly pixelated and it's really bizarre because there's a lag, and it's a little bit freaky.
Oh, but, on mine, yeah, it looks like you lot were falling prey on.
Yeah, because the chat keeps coming up in a little strip at the bottom, which is really cool.
Yeah,
except I can't read it. I can't actually read it.
I can turn that
my
off.
phone.
No, leave it on. It's good. But I'm assuming that's coming up in the live feed. But yeah, when it comes, that looked like pig. Look, great Ronin live there.
You can just read the.
Is that Jeremy Clark? Is that Jeremy Clark? I'm trying to read the name as well. You know, I just can't do it.
You do realise you can just read from from the YouTube chat like we normally do.
Oh shit! Never thought of that.
You absolute boring.
Bugger me! So I can still do the pop out chat and all of that shite.
Yeah, Evening, gentlemen. Evening, Andy.
Evening,
Nice
Chris.
to see
How are
you.
you?
Not spoke to you for a while. Yeah, not bad. Question.
Yes.
Why have you got a full tash?
Because
You
I
look
haven't
like
even
a 70s.
bothered to shave.
Ah, you look like a 70s porn star. I like it. I like it a lot.
Oh, so you want me to keep the look then?
I like it, yeah. I think it suits you. What
Oh
the
no!
fuck?
Please don't do that.
He's covering up the tash.
Oh.
No, I've always wanted just a full tash or the Stone Cold Steve Austin, but I grow
Well, I
this
can never
like
grow
neck.
a beard, so
Yeah, I grow this like neck beard.
I'm sorry, the one that Mark did, where it was just the tash that came all the way down here.
Fu Manchu.
That's the one. Awesome.
So anyway, good evening, Chris. Glad you could finally join us.
Well, like I've been sitting in the shed for 25 fucking minutes. Well, 32 minutes, waiting for you to send me a link, and you've ignored me on Facebook Messenger in the group chat. You ignored my phone call live on the fucking channel, and you ignored my chat on YouTube. You're an arsewipe.
Chris, you look like an ISIS fighter with that beard, apparently, according to Mr. Elliot.
The only thing I'm fighting off is diabetes, mate.
Anyway, back to Vape Collective.
Yeah.
back to Vape Collective.
Oh,
Andy, I just want to say this up front, actually. I hope you didn't find that I was being offensive on the last show.
No,
I
I
wasn't
watched it, and obviously I did take into account the points that you were raising.
I mean, I did try and give genuine constructive criticisms, although
Yeah.
I probably said it in an arsehole way. But
I know what
if
you like,
need-
Chris, so I just take that as it is.
well, to be
absolutely,
fair,
that's what I hoped.
to be fair, the only people that had actually been that was in that chat was me and Jimmy. Oh, and James.
I didn't even go to the first one, so I can't compare either. Like, I'm willing to, honestly, if you need any help and there's anything I can do, give me a shout. I'm not going to sign up to no committee bollocks, but I don't mind having a solid input and help you out.
Well, we have got, bringing it on to, obviously, where we're looking at, I was left on my own after Collective. I was what was left, because obviously Chris and Mark have stood down. And I wasn't sure whether I wasn't going to be able to do it on my own.
Has Mark
it is
said
too big
why
of a
he
job.
stepped down?
Well, he's got a lot of family issues, and I think he would have ended up living in a box or at his mum's if he'd carried on doing any more. It was causing quite a lot of hassle at home.
I was just saying. I hope it wasn't. I hope it wasn't because of our comments about the raffle. Well, I wasn't even there, but the comments about the raffle.
He has said to me that obviously he is a blunt Yorkshireman, and he does get told by his wife that he swears too much, and obviously he does it without thinking. And I think that's part of what happened there. With regards to the shaking of the tickets, now, before Mark even got the box, when we got all the tickets in one place, I'd actually been shuffling them up for 5 minutes, mixing them all up with my hands. And that's lifting up bundles, dropping them down, mixing them around, and everything. I know Mark was shaking them.
Do you know how many tickets were sold?
I don't. I'd have to get all the books out and actually go through each of them.
Considering you got $2,000 to go to the charity, I mean, you obviously got a fair few out there. And,
yeah, there was a lot.
I actually, yeah. And
how much was it a ticket?
It was £2 a ticket.
So
a tenner a
$1,000.
Well, there was some money left over, obviously, from the pitch fees, because anything that was left over, we've not taken a wage at all. So anything that was left from the pitch fees, less the expenses we had to pay for the toilets, bench hire, all the things like that, all of that is going to charity as well.
See,
all right, cool.
In such a no offense, but in such a small number of tickets, it's probably a lot easier to draw corresponding numbers. So I'm not in a way I'm defending you. In what I'm saying is that I don't think anyone. It would be that uncommon to get a 36, then a 37 if you've only sold a few hundred tickets.
Well, I'll be brutally honest with you. The raffle is the easiest thing to sort out.
Yeah,
that can be
taken on board
incredibly. Yeah. It's a case of this is what's happened this year with it. Fine, we'll sort it for next year. Job done.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll just
absolutely.
Just
and I have been talking to someone who I'll come on to in a bit, who has stepped up to help out. Because obviously I'm not going to be able to be the driving force, but I will still help out getting a lot of it done. And we are discussing different ways that we're going to do the raffle in future.
To be fair, though, if you shook the box, which you say you did, and it was shook again at some point, then I'm sorry, but anyone whinging about it hasn't got a right to whinge about it. It'd still be the same odds of getting it pulled.
Yeah.
It's just that whether your one had landed there, and if it didn't, then you wouldn't have won anyway. So it doesn't matter where on the box it picked.
Yeah,
so,
I know.
So
at least
I don't
at
see
one
why people
point,
are moaning.
Mark had the box in his hand, was holding it above his head and going shake, shake, shake Sonora while singing.
Yeah,
and it was giving it a shake around like that.
Yeah, I mean, Craig's made a very valid comment. I think we all have to agree that the raffle was a bit of a shambles, but to make it the sole focus of negative comment is very unfair.
Oh no, no! I just focus. I was focusing more on the fact that Mark had stepped down. The only thing I'd heard that he had done wrong was this raffle and the swearing. I swear like a trooper, and I often swear in the worst possible situation. I do it when I'm picking my son up from nursery. I do it, when I'm out for a meal. I do it all the time. But we're very aware. I try and do it, try and not do it, but I'm ignorant to the fact that I am doing it. Now, that in my mind is it's not great, but it's not a crime. He hasn't done anything wrong. With a raffle, again, if you shook it and he shook it on stage, someone would probably have footage. Then there's no way that you can hold that against him. So I just hope that he doesn't feel too bad about either of those things enough to have stepped down. Because I don't think they're that bad. They're not great, but they're not that bad.
No. And it was, and he said it was the first time he'd done that sort of thing. He was nervous about doing the raffle, public speaking, and all that malarkey. And I didn't think he did that bad a job. He did a great job considering. And yeah, he was.
I've spoken in large crowds. I held a cloud comp and a raffle at Vape Fest 15, which was mental busy. I've been up on the main stage at Expo with Death Wish a couple of times. I used to give speeches to atriums full of students and kids. I've spoke at the United Nations. I've done a lot of public speaking, and every time it doesn't get any easier. You go into a school assembly, and it's still as bad as that time when you're talking in the United Nations. It doesn't get any easier, no matter how much you do it, and I've done a lot of it. So, that is a very, very, very... I would swear a lot more in that situation. I would panic a lot more. I'd be a lot more stressed. And if I hadn't done it before, which the first time I did it, it was the worst. The anxiety before and afterwards. I remember the first time I ever did a public speaking was at a big conference that we held. And I had to go up and give this speech. And my boss says, "Look, I'll buy you a beer for courage." And I just turned sort of 17. So I was like, yes. He bought me this beer, and I nicked this beer. I went on stage, and I felt right good. And I gave this awesome speech, and I got back out, and I went to drink the rest of my beer, and I noticed it was Beck's Blue. It was non-alcoholic beer.
Most of you know my past, and I was obviously a lecturer, and I used to stand in front of... I was in a standing in a lecture theatre in front of God knows how many people, and the amount of times that I got pulled up for not necessarily my language, but my language, the way I spoke, do you know what I mean? And it's quite easy. It's quite easy to sit in this forum now and swear.
Oh yeah.
But I agree with what some people are saying. There's a time and a place, and I know it's very, very difficult if you're not used to that situation, if you're not comfortable in a situation with public speaking. It can be quite difficult. And you know, I spoke to Mark privately the other day, and I told him I got a lot of respect for what he did, for the whole team, for the whole committee, of what they did, whilst it didn't go as well as they perhaps wanted it to. It didn't publicly go as well as they wanted it to. You know, it's a work in progress. You know, Colette, I think Collective is a work in progress. That will end up amazing. I hope so. I genuinely hope so. And we said the other night, didn't we, about you know, more and more people getting on board, more and more people helping out, and it becoming more of a collective. You know, I don't think you're ever trying to be Fest, and I see Vape Fest is in the chat tonight. I'm not sure who it is, but sorry, I'm speaking on your behalf. I think, you know, you weren't trying to be Vape Fest, you weren't trying to better Vape Fest, you were just trying to offer an alternative show in a different place in the country. Is that right, Andy?
That's basically it. It's a show, because one thing I've noticed, obviously living as far down in Devon as I do, I personally have a lot of distance to travel to any of the three main shows, be it Jam, be it Expo, be it Fest. I've got a minimum of 4 hours. Now, the one in Doncaster, yes, it's even further for me, but it gives people that are north of that line a show that they can get to that's a bit easier, a bit closer.
I mean, I mean, up until that point, Expo's kind of the furthest north, really, and that's Birmingham. I mean, it's an hour and a half to 2 hours from Sheffield, let alone going any further up north. So, and
it's 4 hours for me to get from here to Birmingham.
Yeah. I can imagine. I mean, I'm assuming you're further. Yeah, you're further than Belfast, Bristol. There you go. That's the place I'm thinking of.
Well, Bristol is junction 18 on the M5. If you imagine, I've got to travel to junction 27 and then do 50 miles off the motorway.
Right.
No one can complain about travelling any fucking distance to get to an event.
Mark's just said in chat, you guys are lucky having all these events down south. We have nothing up here. Make them great.
I'm 4 hours north of Mark. Do you know what I mean? I'm not getting nothing.
Do you know?
I've got to travel
miles. I still haven't looked to see how far north you are. Where in Scotland are you?
I am on the north coast.
So Inverness, ish.
Near enough. Yeah.
Near enough. Okay. It's very nice up there.
This new setup is fucking with my head. It's like we're on University Challenge. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or like a really,
hang on a minute. Hello, Mark. Hi.
You'll get used to it.
It's supposed to.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know. It's like a fat version. It's like a fat man version of Bohemian Rhapsody.
And obviously, one of the other reasons behind Collective is obviously places like Expo, Jam are all very expensive to be able to pay entry to for vendors. Yeah. We've tried to set the price so that the smaller vendor, the newer vendors, the newer companies have got somewhere to show the wares to get the name out a bit better.
Yeah, I mean, I went as a punter, and as a punter, it was bloody marvelous. The food was reasonably priced. You'd got all the vendors. You'd got a decent variety of vendors. You've got from Biggs Drips Tips to you've got Vapour Bus around the corner. You know, you've got a good selection of vendors for a small event. And as a punter, It was fabulous.
Can you stop saying punter, please? It's like when they try and sneak a storyline about prostitution into EastEnders, and everyone all of a sudden is saying the word punter.
Okay,
that's such a horrible word.
Okay. One of the comments that you came up with the website wasn't available after the event. One of the things I did remember you mentioned on the show, wasn't it?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. Now, what that was is obviously our person that was doing the web hosting after the show had finished. He was the sponsor for the event, and obviously he took the website down once the event was finished, which is obviously why you couldn't access the website. I've actually got all the files for that, so for a future one, I have all the files from that website here ready to go.
It just worried us because when we logged onto the website and went, it's gone down. We kind of went, what's going on?
Personally, I wouldn't have taken it down as quick, but he was doing the hosting for us for free, so I can't argue, can I?
No, not at all. No. I completely understand that.
He did all the web design for us and everything on that. I can't argue that he took it down. Personally, I might have left it up another week or two so people could still see it was there.
Was it contractually obligated? Like in the contract, did you agree that he would only keep it up as long as the show was going?
There was actually no contract on the website. He got, because of the cost of doing a website and hosting, he got his pitch for that for the remuneration for his payments of his pitch was the hosting and design of the website, which, as you're well aware, is quite an expensive job anyway.
Okay. Once you pay for a certain time frame, it doesn't continue to cost you anymore.
Sorry, I lost all of that. It froze up.
What I was saying was, when it comes to hosting, once you pay for the domain, you pay for the host, which essentially he was doing. Once that's done, like once the cost's there, you still get that domain for the period of time.
We have still got the domain.
Host.
I have still got the domain name.
You still have the host. There was no need for him to.
He has servers that he does it through. Obviously, he took it down off his server.
Subvates has just made a good comment. It would have been nice to have post-fest, I assume he means collective photos
Festival
on the site.
Yeah. The photos that were the 2016 ones were actually linked direct to our Facebook albums, and there's 2 or 3 albums of photos gone up into there. I can give you a link for those later if you want.
Perfect. So
it'd be great.
So there are photos available, and
they are all on our Facebook group in the albums there. There's about 2 or 3 albums of them.
Fantastic.
I'm trying to think what other questions and points there were.
Moving forward, Andy, obviously you've got... have you announced who that person is?
I haven't announced on here yet. I've been having a good chat with someone who's now gone up to admin in the Vape Collective group and is going to be doing a lot of the driving, and that's James Clark.
James, as much as we'd love you on here, we've not got enough room for another box, so... yeah, he's Ginger. He's Ginger, that's all you need to know.
Yeah. And we've had another volunteer who's also going to help, who's also got good contacts in the industry, which is Brett Clark.
Bloody hell. You pulled the potato out of retirement. You plucked him straight from the ground. Wow. Brett,
we've got quite a nice balance between those two. I think we've got pretty much all the industry covered, haven't we?
They're twins, did you know?
Yeah. I think we've got pretty much all of the industry covered between those two, haven't we?
Yeah,
the contacts that they've got and the experience they've got.
Brett makes physical contact with everyone within a 40-mile radius. But Nah, I love Brett. No, it would be good. I think it would be very interesting. I'd like to see whether they actually continue the whole thing through. Obviously, personal life getting in the way is acceptable, blah 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 blah. But I don't know how long they're going to stick with it. I'd like to see them do it both. I'd like to see them both proper smash it, but I don't know if Brett's going to give up or James might give up because of other stuff that's
obviously
important jobs.
Yeah, James obviously when it gets to Collective 19. Obviously, if TYV and we hope they are exhibiting, then obviously he will be working there, and obviously that's when we'll need the marshals and things from the group. And as we always say, in the title, it's a collective; it's everyone's.
Subvapes has just said, I'm late to the show, but have you talked about a push on local vapey businesses and YouTube celebs? That's something we did mention on the show. I know Chandler mentioned that his local shops hadn't heard of it at the time.
Yeah, we had leaflets that were printed out, and obviously in the Vape Collective group, we asked for volunteers to take them around to their local, and we did send out batches of leaflets to quite a lot of our volunteers, who then were distributing them around each of their local areas.
Did you get any feedback from anyone that received one of those leaflets from a local vape shop?
See, with the nature of Jason, I'm doing what I can.
Yeah, I'm not.
And you're nearly 300 mile away from the event.
Yeah, no,
yeah, so.
I'm not. I'm not expecting you to have done more than you have done.
I believe Mark and Chris Burks were going around the local shops. We did get a couple of the local traders. Unfortunately, then one of them, right close to the time, had staff problems and family over from India and was unable to attend. He was one of the 5 in the last week that dropped out, 3 of which were on the Thursday.
Did they pay for the pitch?
They'd paid.
Did they get the money back?
Unfortunately, no refunds.
No,
it was all going to charity anyway.
That's good. I'm glad of that.
But unfortunately, when you've got 45 vendors and you lose 5, that's a large proportion.
Yeah. You know, I completely agree.
Which circumstances happen. One, some staff were on holiday, then the ones that were supposed to be doing the show went sick, so he was left with no staff. One was organising a funeral. One had got the keys late for opening his new shop. One obviously had family over from India and staffing problems, and one just didn't turn up. So it's hard work when it's like that.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I think it wouldn't have been more cost effective, but if you'd have spent money and posted directly to, you know, to these vape shops all over the country, you could literally copy and paste the database, print it out onto the envelopes, pay someone, give your kids jobs, give someone a job, give yourself a job.
If I gave it to Jason, there would be bits of paper all over my front room.
Yeah, you get what I mean, though.
And stamps all over the wall.
You know what I mean, though? You spend a couple of hundred quid on stamps, and you just post it. You could literally get a vape database of all the shops. You're talking 100. You could even get the little tiny ones that don't pay attention. If you put up a Reddit post saying that you're going to give them you're sending them a free gift, doesn't matter that it's a leaflet.
No.
If you put up they're going to get something free out of it. Hundreds of these little corner shops, little like off the road beaten track, like in the back of a computer shop. They'll all be there. They'll all be handing out these leaflets.
Unfortunately, the company that we had for doing the media sponsorship, one of our big magazines. Do you want me to mention which one?
Yes, please.
Vape Around. We're supposed to be doing. They Yeah, they did us a nice article in their magazine on the online one, so I read all the article and everything.
Yeah, so did I, and it wasn't easy to find.
No, they were supposed to be doing a mail shot to all the vendors that are on their database. They were supposed to be doing a mail shot to everyone on their database, explaining about it, going through it. Well, I'm on their database, but I never received anything.
What I want to know is how, if this bus is so busy, if it's doing all these journeys around to all these vape shops, so the people that are paying for the sponsorship get the coverage that they're expecting, surely this poses an issue where it wasn't important enough for them to advertise an event that they were going to be at. That bus can't see much action if that's the case. And then what are sponsors paying for those big windows that no one's going to see?
Yeah. Well, I know the bus this weekend is down in Plymouth. So, in the space of being with us last weekend, it's travelling all the way down to Plymouth.
I still don't like it. They should have promoted it better, because regardless of how big an event it was, they were going to be there with this bus.
Yeah.
They should have.
When you take a media partner on that says they're going to do, and I've got all the emails that say what they were going to do for us, and they say they're going to do this, you expect them to follow through, don't you?
Yes. I think you should speak to Subhome magazine.
Well, we won't be speaking to Vape Around next time, shall I put it like that?
Subhome magazine seemed to get some stick, especially from like the organisers of Expo, who actually didn't let them in. I think they're actually really genuinely nice people. They take vape reviews off everyday people who genuinely have a passion about something, or they know about something. That's a good opportunity to offer the public, and not these big names that everyone seems to get the exposure of. I like Subhome magazine. Charlie Kent, if you watch this, you owe me.
I quite like Subhome magazine, actually. Yeah. It's not as
obviously. That's obviously something we've taken on board from this time. We know that didn't work. They didn't follow through on what they were doing, and obviously they wouldn't be back at future ones.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of them anyway. I think their awards seem a bit fixed.
Depends how deep your pockets are to whether you get an award.
I don't know.
Oh, I'm not supposed to say that out loud, am I?
No, but do you know what I mean? That's a sort of I sort of agree. Yeah, I don't know. I think you fight a strong case. Not that we were against you anyway, but they're all valid points. I just think it's unfortunate they all happened at the same time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, we got struck by a lot at the same time, and
I truly know what you're going through.
Yeah, when you've got an organisation like Vape Around, which you think is going to do a job, and then they don't, it makes life very difficult.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Let's. I think we can go over what went wrong and whose fault it was, and play the blame game until we're blue in the face. Andy, what's the future? What are we doing? What are you doing? What's the plan for the future?
Well, myself, James, Brett, we'll be getting together. We're going to get hold of. We're going to look around, see if there is obviously what locations we're going to go, keeping it in that sort of northern area. Now, the Parklands field is an easy location, really. It's got good parking on site, and there's plenty of room to use. So the idea and the plan is to have a Vape Collective 19, a VC3.
I will pledge a £10 donation on behalf of either Brett or James, if they both stick with it till 2019 and the collective goes underway and they are still playing a part, I will give them both. I'll donate a tenner for each of them that sticks with it. So there's a 20 quid donation to charity there, provided that they stick with it. If they don't, I won't feel bad about not giving to charity.
Why not just make it £200 a head?
I'll tell you what. If by the month before collective, you have still got them both, I will also make sure I bang on about it on the show for 4 weeks leading up to it. I'll post it on my Instagram. Got 5,500 followers. Oh, check me. I will also share it in as many vape groups as I can be asked to find. That's my pledge if they stick with it. That's my support given to Vape Collective.
My pledge.
It sounds as though you're not confident with the new members.
No. I really think that they have the prospect to make it a real success. I think if they put the effort in, they'll make it a real success. But I've got a funny feeling that it might become too much of effort for them. They've both got busy lives. I know Brett took a bit of a step back, but he manages shops, I think. And James, he does management. He does sales as well, I think. And he's, I think that they may jack it in. I hope they don't. That's why I'm making that offer.
We'll put it this.
Always the optimist.
Yeah, we'll put it this way. You know someone who lives in Sheffield, and I know quite a few vapors that live in this area, and I'm sure there is help available in the north to
invite people from Wisbeach.
We're going to invite people from Wisbeach. I mean, Jimmy's already said if there's a 2019 one, he's coming, and I'll be going again. And I'm actually tempted to camp, even though it's just down the road.
You're already pretty camp.
I'm already. I know, it's nice, isn't it?
I miss Leslie. Where is she?
Leslie seems to have gone into retirement recently, hasn't she?
I mean, you do look old enough to retire, to be fair.
Thanks.
Love you. I'm sorry. I haven't mentioned Mark's swish haircut yet either.
I know, it's a bit quiffy.
It's what my hair should be like if I had enough hair. I'm losing all my hair. I can't. Even my sideburns are receding. Like, what's that all about?
Mine are as well.
Yeah, but your sideburns are blended in.
Mine aren't. Mine just grow longer. It's
Chandler, you're giving yourself the Croydon facelift. It's where you have your hair tied back so tight it pulls all your skin taut.
That's exactly. I mean,
otherwise, so you actually look like Dot Cotton if you take your hair out.
No, I've just got like one massive eyebrow. It all just kind of curls over and just. Yeah.
Right,
personally, I enjoyed most of Collective. There were obviously issues where I was running around like a blue-arsed what's-it. But for me to be able to... A lot of the vendors were more northern ones. It's juices that I haven't tried before, be it mods I haven't been able to see before in the flesh, and it was nice to be able to look at different stuff. It was nice to meet some new vendors. I actually got to catch up with Craig Nichols, who I hadn't met before. I've talked to online.
Yeah. It's great to
being able to catch up with these people. That's to me what makes an event.
Yeah,
and you've got local vendors. I mean, you've got like Pyramid was from Sheffield.
Did you feel proud?
Would you believe
when you walked around there?
That's two of the juices I'm battering at the moment.
Did you feel proud when you walked around the event? Sorry.
I did, yes, because when I got all the pitches, when I'd got the people onto their pitches, everyone was pitched in the right location, and I was able to look around and think, we've got there now. The work is done.
Then that's all that matters, in my opinion. As long as you were proud, it was a success.
I think we can safely say that the VTUK team are 100% behind Collective 3. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
And you might
now.
And you might.
One of the things you did mention. Yeah, one of the things you did mention, obviously, was doing some subsidised or free pitches for some vape groups like yourself, and obviously that is something that we've taken on board as well.
If you do that, I'm definitely shoving Pandora's on there.
What do you mean? I'm going to be selling you a pitch, Chris.
Yeah, I'm going with VTUK, mate. When you're not looking, I'll lift off the VTUK tablecloth and under there be fucking hundreds of Pandoras. And we'll stick some of Jeffrey's in there and all, and some of them squonky things that Chandler's making. And we'll just stick a VTUK tablecloth over the top and pretend we're chatting every time. Quick, he's coming. Look busy. Oh, chat the tablecloth.
Well, to be fair,
it'll be like that. It'll be like that scene. It'd be like that in that scene in Matilda. You know when the bad teachers come in, they flip all the boards around and all the happiness goes away.
Well, as you're probably aware, I was always a tube person until I went to Collective, and I've actually come away with 2 squonks.
Oh, don't! I've just fucking designed a tube.
I got 2 squonks.
You're my prime sales target.
Oh, you've got a custard.
No, I've got 2 custards.
2 custards. Oh, I could see one was a custard. I couldn't quite see the other one.
No, I had a good chat with Dave and Steve there, and lovely blokes that they are.
Yeah.
And had a great time chatting with them. They were actually staying in the same hotel as me, so in the evening, perhaps 1 or 2 jars got sunk.
Hey.
I thought you were going to say something much more. You were going to make some really weird joke.
And obviously, the other purchase I managed to get was a tube. I'm afraid, Chris.
What was it?
It's a Vulcan.
Yeah, I fucking designed that.
With one of the on it.
That's a lie. Me and Stu designed that. I didn't design it. I did the design work, so technically I designed it.
If it'll focus.
What do you think of it?
It's lovely, actually. I've only just got around to setting it up today, I think, because I had to wait until my supplier got some 2700 batteries in, because I wasn't going to put the 18650 in. I thought, no, it's going to have the proper battery in.
Yeah, if you can get hold of a 21700, that fits in a treat.
Torchies wouldn't. We did actually try it. Because Torchy, the battery boy, was there.
Yeah.
Now, whether it's because he double sleeves them or not, but 21700 would fit in.
Because if it was too thick to go in, then that will be the double sleeving. Because it's still, I would have thought that should have still fitted in.
Yeah, it's a double sleeving,
but it wouldn't fit inside the switch housing.
Oh, okay. At the bottom.
Oh, right, yeah. It'll be the double sleeving. That switch housing has such a thin wall on it in order to accommodate.
Too tight to go in.
Yeah, it's machined to the micrometer. So that second sleeve will just be what's causing it. We did it by the biggest battery you can buy. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I forgot what I was going to say. Something important, probably.
Or not.
Yeah, or not. Yeah. So.
But as a mod, it's working.
Oh,
lovely.
yeah, no, sorry.
I've got
the
cloud cap on it, the new cap.
Oh, yeah. You haven't seen the new cap?
Did you get the...
I got another new.
I got a squonk pin.
You went the squonk pin for it, did you?
I've got a squonk pin, and it's actually pretty bloody good as a squonker. Yeah.
The only ones I had for squonking was I got the B2K and the GR1.
They're both alright, actually. The GR1's not as good
nice.
as the VTUK, but it's nice. Yeah, I was just going to justify myself here because I don't often show off my Vulcans. I don't use them very much. I just want to justify why I don't, because I think people have the impression that I'm not the biggest fan of that mod. But yeah, I actually sent all of the ones I had to potential distributors for the product. So I don't actually have a Vulcan. I actually killed my last one, which just about worked. It was made from like parts that I'd made myself on because the button was broke, and yeah, I tried to heat color it the other day and fucked it.
Oh.
Yeah, so I forgot to take the insulator out, and then I heated it to white hot.
Oh.
Yeah, that didn't go down too well.
No.
But yes, I just wanted to justify myself there.
Cool. I think we've got about everything out. Is there anything else you want to say, Andy? Or are you happy with what we've said?
I'm happy with where I've gone. If anyone has any comments that they want to make or suggestions that they think might work for future ones, feel free to PM me. We're always open to ideas.
I think the best news I've heard is that you're having another one next year. So
I was going to make a joke and say you were Andy Hobbs, but I thought about not. You kicked
so you did it anyway?
No, okay. He's not. He's not. Just to clarify that.
Cracking. Well, thank you very much for joining us all. Sorry we're a little late at the beginning of the show. Smash that thumbs up button if you want to see Vape Collective 3 next year. We'll be behind it. We'll be supporting it 100%, and hopefully we will all be there. Thank you very much for joining us. We will see you all on Tuesday. I had to think about that.
Tuesday. You did, didn't you? Tuesday. See you Tuesday.
See you guys.
Tuesday.